Looking at the beautiful scenery, and oh, looks like we're doing some more quilting again. Look at that. And there she goes, into the quilt shop. Tanana River cruise. And a little bit of history. River that we're going down. Tied up to a massive barge. Also includes a gallery with Susan Butcher. I think she won the Iditarod a number of times.
That's available throughout the boat if you want to grab hold of one of those. But we need to remind you again about the fact that the whistle is going to go off pretty much any second now. So if you're right behind the wheelhouse on the top deck, be ready. You will notice. You ready? Unless, of course, we have a few more folks coming with us, which may very well be the case, in which case you can unplug your in. So we'll kind of see how it unfolds here. In that Gazette bike, and then there are other things available for you on the menu. For heaven's sake, folks, please do not miss this very emotional farewell off to the starboard side over here.
Where's the crew?
Our crew practices that for you all winter. Our population is reliant on airplanes. Some point during the year, this is the only way to get around. That's what we do. If they go with cat and grass, you like to have somebody who turn around and their lawn and go. Well, that is a yard over there. That's top field. It's a 900-foot long bush airstrip. And you can see it on the monitor. The captain said, we're always a bush flying demonstration, unless of course
they have landscaping and everything. Those are gardens.
Which sometimes
vegetable gardens.
There's a boat or a kayak or an unusually large group of ducks. So here we go. He's fired up the engine now. Yes, I was actually raised out in western Alaska along the Yukon River. I've been piloting these aircraft since I was a teenager. My dad was actually a pilot instructor. Also had sled dogs out on the Yukon for transportation. Tried my hand at the Iditarod race in 1980. Then in 91 I moved to Fairbanks and became an aircraft mechanic. So now I work on these aircraft full time when I'm not flying them. So they've got me around quite a few places in the state.
Well, it's an interesting little airplane. It's called a Super Cub, made by the Piper Company.
Taking them all over the state. Want to watch once more out to the left and say farewell to our friend Steve Canasser. It used to be pretty challenging.
individually and we blow across their noses. My mom always believed in doing this because for the first 9 to 10 days of their life, their eyes aren't open yet, so they're really dependent on that sense of smell and touch, and that's how they get used to us. It's really great because after that first week's over and they start to open their eyes, you can see they really know and trust us. My mom called this the trust and be trusted relationship, which was the key to all of her success out on the Iditarod Trail.
Okay, and then you said, even though this may just look like a lot of goofing around, that there's actually training taking place here. So what are they learning?
Well, today, the basic lesson plan is just become more courageous. We want these to be adventurous, excited dogs who won't get spooked by anything they meet out there on the trail. So as they're growing, during this really formative part of their life, we like to bring them out here and encourage them to overcome different obstacles. Now you can see that today's obstacle is walking out on this sort of rickety dock. That can be a little challenging. Walking on water feels funny under the paws when you're doing it for the first time. But with us there to encourage them and praise them on the other side, it teaches these puppies that we are never going to ask them to go any farther or faster than they're capable of. And of course, we're always going to be there for them when things get tough.
And then the time will come, you know, not
encourage them to run off and have their own adventures. Maybe they'll run into the woods and go through some water, or maybe run through some brambles and branches. Maybe they'll just bark up a tree at a squirrel. But these puppies are learning how to be part of a team, how to go down that trail and have a good time, and most importantly, they're learning recall, because those older dogs always come running back to us when we call them, and the puppies will learn that's when it's time to come home and have their dinner.
yeah, well, and that your voice means something, which is going to be critical when it's time to hitch up. And speaking of that now, how do you know when the moment to harness break has actually arrived with these
dogs? In a race like the Iditarod or the Yukon Quest, you start off with 14 dogs in your team. So you can only imagine how long these lines get, how powerful the teams we're taking to know truly are. It's always exciting to be at the beginning of a race because the dogs, just like the humans, have a keen understanding of that sense of competition. They love to chase other dogs. What we've done here is taken out the engine on this four-wheeler and we've enhanced the brakes so that this team can continue to do what it loves all year round.
Yep. Shame they're not eager to get going. Look at all that power, though, just waiting for her to pull the trigger. And then when she does, it's real quiet. Everybody leans in, starts to pick up speed, and Tekla is gone. But you're going to see her again real quick now, over to the left, in between the two cabins and behind the dog pen, because she's just going to do a U-turn, come from our right to our left, and on your screens as well. See, as the lead dog set the pace. Nice even spacing. All the rest of the dogs back here freaking out. There, I want to go. And don't worry, because every dog exercises every day at Trailbreaker, which is why they're so healthy and why they live so long. Granite lived to be 17 and a half. Ran over 41,000 miles in his career. Now keep looking to the left still, in between those same two cabins, but farther away at the base of the tall spruce where that trail is cut out.
Here we are, coming out of the trees on the other side of the lake, and these dogs are really flying. It's so impressive that they can carry me and the four-wheeler, which weigh about 400 pounds, and still be going at 20 miles per hour. Now, what I like to do during any training run is look at their tug line. That's the line that is them, and keep those other competitors behind them. It's beautiful out here today, but it gets me excited for when the snow falls in October and we can get out on the trail and on a sled again.
Okay, now, the next place you'll see here is through the gate to the left of the dog pen, so that's where you want to focus. By the way, I also noticed our vessel is kind of leaning to the left here a little, which has got me thinking you're enjoying this experience and might be glad to know that Tekla and some of the crew from Trailbreaker are going to join us at the village and bring dogs with them that you will get to meet. Some of these Alaskan Huskies, pet them on the head, answer questions, get photos. There's a beautiful statue of the great lead dog Granite at our village as well. And here comes the team.
Whoa!
I hope those brakes are working. They are. Nicely done. Tekla, another great run.
Well, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. And after every training run, it's important to go up and down the line, give every dog a pat on the back. appreciate all their hard work.
Yep, then right out of gym class and into the pool. Great way to refresh after a run. And Tekla, while you were on your way back, I mentioned that you and the crew that your folks wrote, and I'm hoping that if anybody decides they want one of those to kind of remember this, will there be some time for maybe you to sign it if they'd like, even write a personal message in there?
Absolutely. You know, I grew up hearing my mom tell the story of Granite to people who visited. She was so proud of this little puppy because he turned out to be one of the greatest lead dogs of all times, even though a few people didn't believe in him as a pup. I love sharing this story, and it's always kept me going on my passion no matter the odds. If people would like to get a copy of this,
now there are many strides and plans within those two larger groups. You can learn more about it on our deck. If you want to take a look at the map and descriptions there, but we're going to focus on the Athabasca people. And John is going to help do that. He's another one of your guys up here on our top deck. John is actually a Nubiak Eskimo, one of those coastal cultures. He's a resident of Fairbanks and is going to stay here to go to college at our University of Alaska Fairbanks. We'll be getting his accounting degree. But will that be like to think of as a living museum? Like this, much like your villages that Jim used to see on those freight runs with our food structures and the layout. We're also going to learn about fish camp. You see we have an example of one of those to the right with a fish wheel in the water, and our friend Robin with the catch of the day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right here, I'm holding a male chump salmon, and when you folks turn around and head back upriver, I'll be sharing with you how we turn this into food for our dogs in the wintertime, and then I'll also share with you a little bit about my experience at fish camp.
And folks, looking at the fish camp gives me a really good chance to talk about the subsistence lifestyle, which is still practiced in a lot of villages around Alaska. Fishing in the summer, trapping in the winter, and hunting in the fall. And I've had the chance to go on a few of these hunts, and it is absolutely amazing. You go out to a remote patch of wood like these you see on the right, going to feed on there for food, hides for clothing and shelter, bones, antlers, guts, sinew. Basically every part of this animal will get put to good use. And that's not just out of necessity, it's also out of respect for the animal and its place in the nature. But what you see over here on our right is the domesticated Riverboat Grandis, which we call the...
We look out over the river valley here, you can see it's made up of lots of different elements. We've got side streams and channels,
Tanana
sandbars,
River.
log jams, a big island out in
Glacial
front of
water.
us. And on the back side of the island, right at the base of the tall trees, tall spruce trees off the bow, maybe
Managed to do that time after time without getting stuck.
Sure, well you draw upon a couple different skills and techniques. The first thing that we do is what we call reading the river. And we do that by looking...
Boil it and then feed it to our dogs for food at camp. Then, if also this was a higher quality salmon, like the king or silver, this would be made in the fish head soup, and that is considered a delicacy for our elders.
How is that, by the way?
I don't know, JR. I'm not old enough.
Oh, yes. No, it's not what you're thinking either. It's not bleh. It's because there's never any left by the time someone her age gets up there to the serving area. So we'll give her 40 years and check again. Now, why are we slicing into the fillet?
Yeah, so right now I'm scoring the salmon, and that is creating diagonal cuts through the flesh down to the skin. Scoring the salmon creates more surface area on the fillets, allowing smoke to work deeper into it and further dehydrate it.
And you'll see when she holds it up. I always think this is a nice photo. Every one of those cuts opens a vent down into that fillet, so it can lose all of its water weight, but none of the nutritional value. That's all going to get sealed in and fuel that dog team through the winter. Nicely done.
Thank you.
You only got 499 to go.
Discovery 3 pedal boat. It's a fish camp. collecting fish, cutting fish, and smoking fish.
So they replaced mirrors and fences along it in order to slow the herd down and funnel an individual caribou into an easier place to kill it. Another advantage that they had in the winter is using these snowshoes. These snowshoes allow a group of Athabascan men to outmaneuver everything that they needed to survive. The meats, bones, and even the liquids were used, so nothing was ever wasted. The hide from the caribou was very valuable because of its warmth. Each caribou hair is hollow, which traps air inside, making it very lightweight and exceptionally warm. Soft piece of material like this. And to preserve all of her hard work, the women would stretch this hide over a campfire and smoke it. You can always tell a true native tan hide by the rich smoky smell and the light brown color. Excuse me, ma'am. Now I'd like to share some tradition. It is all traditional except the zipper going down the middle. We just keep that on there so we can get it on and off quickly on hot summer days. Now she's going to show us the sunshine ruff.
Wow.
The outer part is Timberwolf and the inner part is Wolverine. And any leftover pieces would be made into tassels. Wolverine tipped with Timberwolf. And she would sew these on to show that her man was a skilled hunter and he caught that tricky Wolverine. Now she's going to show us the designs on the back. Skin sewing techniques and beadwork designs were passed down mother to daughter, generation after generation. And each family has their own original design, so if she were to travel to a different village, you can tell where she's from just by looking at the back of her parka. Thank you, Robin. The Chena village is a typical setting of an Athabascan village after that first significant contact with Western culture. Prospectors arrived to the interior of Alaska on stern-wheeler steamboats, much like we all have done today on Discovery 3. Missionaries, traders, and trappers followed, and after 10,000 years of a bone and stone existence, the sudden introduction of new tools.
Everything you need.
An Athabascan hut.
Neat.
Westernized.
Look at that. You got a cross thing, both on two.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood Huskies. They are still used in racing today, but they're bred for freight capabilities. And so they're really good at pulling a lot of weight, but they're really slow. Sometimes we kind of lovingly refer to the Siberians as Slowberians. Great dogs, but not as fast as these guys. These guys are more streamlined and small. They're Alaskan Huskies, which is not an AKC registered breed. And so it's the way, because we're not having to breed for specific things that a registered purebred dog undertake on. And so there's dogs you still recognize that are on. Dogs that have like varying levels of desires as to how far they want to go. Generally, because they're so high in drugs, they don't.
All ready for fish head soup. The smokehouse. Exceptionally fragrant right here. And to keep everything safe away from other animals.
Just more embarrassing.
The paddle wheel is the primary propulsion forward to this boat. It has some side thrusters in the front, but this is how it moves forward, 100%.